Off the hop, it's Friday. And we are Cat and Nat, your relationship and sex experts.
Oh my God, it's Friday. And I was looking for this one article because y'all know I read my Apple News at nighttime. And it was one article, basically, I can't find it right now, but it was like how complaining or talking about you don't have sex is not going to get you more sex. And I was like, genius. I was like, I need to find that. So I'm going to have to circle back to that one and find it. But until then, when I was looking for it, this one came up and this feels so juicy to me because it says, the advice I wish I had heard in my sexless marriage. Do you want to hear this one? I don't know what it's about. I can click open and we can go for it.
Let's go. Written by a woman or a man?
A woman.
Okay.
Female sex runs different than a man's, and that is okay. I love the article because it was so like, don't stop talking about what you're not getting because it's not. She's like, I've been a therapist forever, and I've never heard of people complaining about the sex they're not getting them more sex. And I was like, boom.
By the way, that's like everything in life. Talk about what you don't want a lot, and that's exactly what you'll get.
So there's like two problems here, okay? First of all, she's in her late 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And she found herself in a sexless marriage in her late 20s.
Oh, wow.
After a passionate beginning.
I wonder how long ago it started.
I know, right? If you're in your late 20s.
Or were they high school sweethearts and they were passionate when they were 16? Just became alive?
I'd lost my libido.
Ooh.
No sex desire or even a fluttering in my genitals.
Fluttering.
This is not me. This is just someone. I'm reading the thing.
Clip that. That's exactly what Kat said.
No, it's not what I said.
It's called crotch rockets. And
exactly.
sometimes it's just what are these things that you light? Spark. Sometimes it's just crotch sparklers. And sometimes it's crotch rockets.
Oh.
She didn't even get a crotch flame.
Sometimes, it's like a spark. Like when you go and try to light the match, but nothing comes. Sometimes that doesn't even happen. So she was feeling broken. She sought out ways to be fixed, which I think a lot of women do. They go and they all go look around like, what am I doing wrong? How can I change things? I wanted to look at it. I wanted to see how I should act. What am I supposed to do? I turned on sexy and wanting sex with my loving husband. I went to a gynecologist, therapist, a variety of medical doctors.
I would be very curious as to what each of these professionals told her.
I don't know if we're going to get there, but she wanted a cure. She wanted an answer because she was like, she thought there was something wrong with her. I don't know if there is, but the answers I got, the answers of science solely based on men, were not what I wanted to hear. It's normal for women to lose interest in sex in a committed relationships. Sometimes pain during sex is normal. You're fine medically. Maybe you just don't have a libido. I mean, you know what's so weird is when Natalie and I know a doctor who's very into hormones and has been studying hormones for a very long time.
You're going to say your famous quote?
I mean, I don't know if I should because it's the exact opposite of what basically she's like, you just sometimes need to find a new partner. And
you want to get horny like you were in the beginning of your relationship? Get a new partner. No smile, no joke, carried on.
But I now feel like so much more is if you really unpeel for a lot of women, it's hormones. Like they're like, because if you had one and you lost it, they're sort of like because you could be married for 20 years and still want to have sex with somebody. And then all of a sudden you're just done with them at 20 years, but you had it for 20 years unless he all of a sudden got a gross habit, like clearing his nose every 5 minutes or blowing his nose really loud. And that's such a turnoff for you. Unless you got the ick. It could be something medically you're not okay.
I also think that when the doctor said it to us like that, it's not like she was prescribing to go get a new partner, but like if you're ever trying to replicate what you had in the beginning, I think she was being sort of just like, the only way you're going to do that is with someone new. It's called new dick and it's fun.
Like if you want to go get buck wild horny.
Yeah. If you want that feeling from the beginning.
Or Bora Bora. Feeling dejected, I shut down, pulling away from my husband. In this tender place where we both need each other's support and love, our mutual silence tore us apart through shame, resentment, and fear. It was not until 5 years after my divorce, the inevitable next step from having lost the physical and emotional connection that had bound us in the first place, that I had learned the truth that liberated my sexuality and paved the way for fulfilling a nourishing sex life. What is the freaking truth?
Ayahuasca.
You're never doing that. The truth is, female sex runs different than a man's.
She became a lesbian. Is that what she's found out?
I think what she learned, now this is from 2017, so I'm gonna have to find an updated one, but I think what she learned was that it is that women need to deepen sexual and emotional intimacy in a romantic relationship. So you're not just going to have like most women aren't going to walk home and be like, I feel like getting my rocks off today. Let's go get our rocks off today.
Right. And she was still young to it. She was probably like thinking like, if he's still horny and I'm not, but then she understood that men and women are very different.
She also, which I think is really important. A lot of women take the blame. They think there's something wrong with them. And she's saying, let's talk about this for a second. Often there's nothing physically wrong with a woman, but it's that they need something different in order for sex to happen. And I feel like men have missed that memo. And I don't know how you teach kids or sons or boys that memo, because that needs to be taught somewhere. Like other than all the other things we teach them, we run different. And I don't know why they can't figure that out. We run different. Women run different. Why is it like such a guessing game?
I don't know. Like I said, it's like the most basic thing that anyone ever said, but women are from Venus and men are from Mars. Like we are very, in every way, we're different.
I guess she began to like read about it and like learn about it. And she basically goes on to be like, we need multi-level stimulation, physical, mental, psychological, and emotional.
So what you're trying to say is we're not basic?
As opposed to like spontaneous. So men will just wake up and get a boner. Like they'll just be like, I have a boner. That must mean I'm horny.
Yes.
Their horniness is basic.
Basic.
Women's is multi-tiered. We're like a wedding cake.
Yeah. So men's are spontaneous and ours are
multi-level.
We're multifaceted human beings.
We really are. So when we're stimulated, we need to feel good about lots of things.
Yes.
And if they are paid attention to in a loving and caring way, she can become aroused. Then sex can happen. We're also non-linear. Our arousal is not like men go like this. Ka-choo. Women are like this. Do, do, do. Like we're like a river, a winding river. We're like a lazy river. We're not a waterfall. They're like a water slide, like the whatever it's called. Yep. You go up high and then you just drop. We're just a lazy river. You just go all around. And it's just, I'm not gonna say what she says because it makes me want to barf.
Say it now.
We're like a wave cresting, then falling and building itself back up again. Our arousal has ups and downs. They're not signs of brokenness, but our body's cyclical nature. It's okay to experience a wide range of emotions during sex, from sadness to anguish to erotic bliss. In the end, your arousal has the potential to go high and long if allowed to go at its natural pace.
That's going to be your bedtime story. Good night. Good luck with your bad selves.
I feel like men would get aroused just by listening to all the words of arousal. They'd be like, this is so arousing.
Yeah, cresting and falling.
We could just say we're on a cycle of arousement. They'd be like, I am so horny right now. You wouldn't even have to say it. Like we're at the bottom of the arousal. They'd be like, we're aroused.
We have to literally just show them a nipple or say nipple. You know what I mean? Like,
they have them. I don't know why they're not aroused by theirs. They have nipples too.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying,
I think they like the pillows behind the nip.
Some men have that too.
Well, not everyone does.
I'm just saying, but men do have nipples. It'd be much more arousing to have like the vagina rather than just the nipple. But yeah, you're right. But men have them. They could look at themselves and be like, woo, I know, different. When a woman honors her arousal, there's a process.
Oh, she's actually teaching us what she learned.
Quick break. When she honors it, you can let yourself go to a deeper level with your partner and surrender and orgasm with your partner. She learned so much.
Who is her partner now? I'm pretty sure it's a woman.
He is tantric.
Yeah.
No, because maybe.
I'm just kidding.
Maybe. Oh, she's a therapist now.
Oh, good.
Because she says I see the vicious cycle in my clients go around and around and around.
So to honor that you're the woman and it works differently for you than it does for him.
The thing is,
honor yourself.
No, it's not even that. It's like, okay, Men want something. Every woman is like telling them how to get there. It's like they just don't want to read directions of how to get there. It's like they have no interest in the map. And because they're not that, they can't imagine that map is real. It's like, that's fake. But everyone's like, this is the map. This is the directions. There's very easy
I feel like
directions.
the directions are too complicated for their brains to understand.
I think they have less because it's a new habit or a new way of thinking. They'd rather think of that not to be, it's more work. They'd rather think it not that way. They'd rather just think if you're attracted to me, you want to have sex with me. That's how basic it is. If you're not having sex with me, you're not attracted to me. So there's something wrong with you. You must have interest elsewhere.
Yeah.
Rather than, oh my gosh, you are a multifaceted human being with so much going on. If I just stopped and took care of you, took care in my process, we would be so much further along. If I just took a moment and put on a woman's brain for a minute, because we're different.
We are.
Because we understand men so much more than they understand us.
Exactly. We do.
Which gets very confusing. One couple I worked with, a man and a woman in their early 40s, struggled with mismatched libidos in finger pointing. She accused him of being obsessed with sex. He accused her of not wanting him at all. This is hardly the case today. In understanding and working with their different arousal patterns, they learn to expand her arousal and how to ride the waves for the experience. To this day, she prefers sex in the mornings almost every day.
Almost every day.
No, like all the time.
I was just feeling this little like this almost like as if a phone was buzzing right in my pants.
Did you get a crotch rocket?
No, not at all. I was wondering if like blood is pouring out. Or
from your period.
If the way I'm sitting is just making my pants so tight that it's like making a weird feeling.
Well, it's a dark chair and you're wearing black pants, so it should be fine.
I'm not about to check.
But imagine a man understood that, oh my gosh, you might be feeling a little bit tired and low. Really, they should go to a woman class. They should go to woman class. Why do they date us? It's so confusing.
I don't know what they see in us.
Why do you want to date us?
I think they just want to date us because they want to have sex with us.
There must be more. They cannot just be that.
They need to be taken care of.
There's no... If you were to guess why your husband married you right now, what would he say?
She seemed like a lot of fun. She was really pretty.
She liked to have sex.
Oh, she liked to have sex. She was spontaneous. Yeah, she was just really fun.
Because you know how they used to say, like, I feel like this has been the cycle of, since we've been married, of sex. Okay, like of what we've learned, of what the internet has taught us. One, it used to be you weren't confident in your body, so you didn't want to do it. So it was like kind of like you just needed to get some confidence.
Oh my gosh. And yeah. And then, yes, that was that. And then after it was like, oh, she just had a baby. She's not comfortable in her body again.
Yeah. It's like we weren't comfortable. So it was like us that didn't want to have sex. So like give her, like, I feel like we were taught that and we're all like, oh, because they don't feel comfortable in their bodies. So they shouldn't like do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but then that's also really confusing if you do feel comfortable in your body. And so that excuse isn't working for you. And then you're like, well, then what is it if it's not that?
And then the second thing was that if you just made like a sex day, like if you just carved it out and made it a priority, then that would be like, that would fix everything. It's just you're so busy, you don't have time. So you have to make time, but that doesn't take care of the arousal. That just takes care of the execution. So you could still be having sex, but not get what you needed actually met from that. Do you know what I mean? That was the second thing. The other third one was like, oh, help out around the house. If you help out around the house, they're going to want to have sex. So like go and like do chores, and then that will make them have sex. That was the third thing the internet has told us. The fourth trend, because now it's hormones. So now it's the hormone trend. There was another one before that though. What was the one? It was like they're overtouched. They're touched out.
Because they're babies.
They need to go have space. So they need time out.
And all of those are just like, it's like they're giving us excuses to buy everybody a little more time to give the man like a reason, you know?
Oh yeah. No, there's none of this was like men get like go work on your emotional quotient so you can fulfill her sexual quotient. Right? You know what it should be? mental sex before you have physical sex. If you can have mental sex with them,
That
and I mean,
gross.
I don't mean like visual
like across the dinner table.
No. I mean like if you can feel fulfilled intimately via a relationship, then you're ready for a physical one. But until then, no sex.
Yeah,
like no sex. Because if she isn't feeling, like if
I don't have the ingredients, I can't bake the cake. She's not going to rise.
I know. It's just very confusing that why men, that book should be off. Those books should be gone. They should be bestsellers. How to Unlock a Woman. It should be gone. Every man should be reading it.
Then again, that could be another one of the excuses. And then he's like, he really dives in and he's really emotional. And she's like, oh, fuck, I'm still not horny.
Well, then you have a hormone issue.
Thank God there's always something that you can fall back on.
Okay, well, listen.
Which is true.
If you like them, well, do men ever not have a problem? Do men universally just get a boner all the time?
No, and I've actually heard of multiple people, and at our shows, people have said, I am more horny than my husband.
Okay, but on trend, are men just easily aroused than women?
Like I am not in a sexual relationship with a lot of men, so I only have the experience of all the men I've been with, and that would be yes.
So, and I would say based on the research I've read on Instagram and heard and conversations we've had with other women, I would say men are much more arousable,
spontaneously arousable
than women.
And you know what I did kind of think today? Remember, on my last podcast, I was telling you that I looked at myself naked and I was like, holy shit, like it just gets better with time. I'm like, it must be like you're looking at this and you're like, I have this really.
So men just aren't as attractive. Is that what you're saying?
I love that conclusion.
Well, I'm just curious. Like,
I think a lot less. I think men think that girl parts are so sexy and hot. And I would say we've talked to a lot of women who are like, penis and balls are not attractive.
Right.
So their sexual organs are not actually like eyeballingly pleasing.
Right.
You know, like we're not, oh, let's go check out some dicks. You know, they're like, oh, puss, like, oh,
right.
Like they, like even ugly ones, they probably like.
Okay.
Like even like ones that aren't even like perfect.
They like.
Yeah. So imagine our husbands are dealing with this perfection.
They're like, oh shit.
They're like, I have the best little treat in my house.
But why don't we see that as a treat?
Yeah.
That's the tricky thing.
That is tricky. I mean,
because if they are so easily aroused, like if this is the thing,
why didn't they make their cookie more attractive?
Right.
Like God, what were you thinking?
I don't know. I often think
what would it look like if it was attractive?
It'd be hidden.
It'd be in the inside, like a vagina.
I don't know. It'd be attractive.
Like what would be a sexy?
And who says it's not attractive?
The penis?
Yeah.
Women.
No. I feel like we've been taught that though.
That it's not attractive?
Well, yeah, because I think so. Because I bet if someone said it was like the most sacred, I bet if it like
men do act like it's the most sacred thing.
Exactly. That's
they
why.
Name it.
Oh, you know what? There's too many of them. They're too public with them.
Sorry. Okay.
They're too public.
You know when someone serves you a dinner and it just looks like gross?
Yeah, I was actually thinking that before. Yeah.
Okay. But then there's a beautiful dinner and everything. Yeah. So it's factually that their parts are not like.
No, I don't know that though, because if you go to listen.
Sorry, ball sacks.
No, I'm not saying I like them.
I'm saying I don't think we've learned that they're bad. I think they've been trying to tell us that they're good our whole lives, and we're like, we're smarter than that. We know that it looks bad. I mean, we know what's nice. We know what's pretty. We know a pretty flower or a dead flower.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
We know what's appealing.
I guess, and everyone universally likes a pretty flower.
Oh, yes.
Like armadillos are disgusting animals or mammals or creatures. The one with the big thing.
Are they?
Yeah. Or anteaters. No one's like, that's a cute ante. No one's like, aw, look at that anteater.
Yeah.
That's what, like, no one's like, aw.
Right.
That's so
but
sweet.
Everybody knows a beautiful bouquet of flowers. Everyone's like, oh my gosh.
And that's what we have.
Well, yeah. But
with
like
hair.
Right.
Or not.
But,
Ish.
But I also don't think vaginas are beautiful flower arrangements
No,
either.
I know, me neither.
But guys think so.
Oh.
So how come they didn't make it, like, why didn't they make it look more attractive?
Yeah, it's actually.
And as far as I've heard, we're working with above average looking ones.
You and me.
Yeah.
As far as you've heard.
Yeah. I would have told you and you would have told me if there was something weird, Like, I feel like they both have attractive parts. And even that,
Yeah.
even the most attractive penis, let's say, I still don't think is appealing.
Are we ever going to get to a place where we as women, like, I feel like the conversation's evolving, okay? We're all evolving in these conversations.
Oh, right. So if we're evolving, we've got to get somewhere.
I feel like if who is going to crack the code where men and women don't have such complicated relationships? Where is the code breaker?
Yeah.
And why does it feel so easy from our perspective when we sit here? Because it must feel so easy from their perspective when they sit there, how easy it is. So why can we not get
Something's missing in humanity.
Like there's a missing.
There's a missing link.
What is it?
Whoever figures it out.
Like, cause I'm like, it's so easy. And they're like, it's so easy. And I'm like, but we are complicated.
Yeah.
But basic.
Yeah.
Like we're complicated, but not that complicated. Y'all are very basic, but too basic.
Yeah. Like, why have they not figured this out? It's like you found cures for things. It's like my kids are like, are they going to find a cure for cancer in our lifetime? I'm like, yes, they're getting closer. Lots of research. So they're going to find a cure for cancer. Okay. Which doesn't happen.
They'll never find something for women because we don't have that. We're not that. That's the whole point.
We're not what?
We're not, we don't get a boner.
But how are we going to like combat this like obstacle between men and women feeling differently about the topic, or like not being able to more easily come to a common ground? Like, our daughters will deal with this.
How to come to common ground? I think that there's a class that men take. How to crack the code vagina.
I'm not positive even if they were to crack that code, it would even still work.
What?
Yeah.
You're telling me it's uncrackable.
I just think that they missed out on something when making us.
We need a redo.
There should be something in between. Men and women should be closer in
gender.
Not gender, but closer in
brains.
Because why are we so different?
I don't know.
We need to be closer. We're too distant.
Now, women who date young men, though. The young men. That would be interesting. Because I feel like they might have a different pulse on the vagina.
And I actually think the thought of a young penis, younger penis
is hotter.
I don't know, actually. I'm not sure. Still same thing.
I wonder, though, if they are closer to patients.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like a younger brain, male brain, and an older female brain are actually closer.
I think so. You need different generations to understand each other, because I don't think it can be an older man and a younger woman. I think it has to be
No.
I think it has to be a young mind that's still learning.
Okay.
With a woman who's like so like sure and comfortable in herself that he's not insecure by her. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to.
Should we test it out?
I just mean in terms of what you're saying is like, how do you get closer to the puzzle? You know what? You don't have kids. You date.
I have to tell you, when I was away and I was at an all ages, let's say, bar. Okay. So there was 90-year-olds and then there was 20-year-olds. There was something very about the way the 20-something men and this age women, and not just me, like everyone, enjoyed themselves was alike.
Tell me more.
The older men,
yeah,
it's like
couldn't let go.
They're just standing there, like you feel them
guarded.
They're looking, but really they're just like
they're like watching what's for dinner. You're on the menu. They're watching. They're like, that is a menu, and if I want it, I'm gonna buy it.
Yes,
but I'm not gonna go. I don't want to taste it. I'm just gonna buy it.
I just want to buy it. They're on the peripheral.
They're
looking
watching.
In, right?
Yeah.
And their brains are. You just know they're different. Young guys, partying, dancing, let's get drinks, let's go, talking, laughing, like
enjoying the moment with you.
Enjoying the moment.
Yeah. letting go.
Letting go.
Like having fun. Living with you, not watching the moment. So they're like enjoying living and they're like in the moment. I mean, that is youth.
Yeah, but I do think a lot of women have that.
Still, I agree. Where older men are.
So they get
yeah. It's interesting.
Like if you picture a bunch of like, our age men and older, let's say at a dance club, they're sitting.
Yeah, not my brother.
Oh, no, not your brother. Your brother is exactly. He's experiencing it.
He is it. You're what that is. He is it. I saw a video the other day. I'm like,
would you see a video of?
I mean, on him on the bar.
Oh, yes, he is that. He's
always
closer
on the bar
to a younger man.
Yeah, him and I love the bar. So weird. Yeah, no, he is.
I did watch a video though of people our age partying this past weekend. Like they were at a rave.
So fun. It was probably 3:00 in the afternoon.
Good point. It was one of those ski days.
It was 3:00 in the afternoon.
I was like, are these people on MDMA?
No, it's 3:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah, they were asleep by 7.
Exactly. They're like 8 p.m. Like, whew, that was a long day. I
really like your hypothesis. And I think that really, hopefully you guys can share some of your stories.
I can't get over because we've lived.
So who should a man our age be with? Alone. Golfing. Just nothing.
If you watch Sister Wives, I know this sounds really crazy. I feel like it is actually most men. It's most men, but the worst of men.
Yeah. Like with a microscope on it.
Like the worst. Like if you
exaggerated version of a man. That's what he is.
An exaggerated version of a man, and the women are all the versions of women in Married to Men.
Yeah, and
it's like the conversations, the fact that they can't break through to understand, it is fucking fascinating to watch because when you hear the conversations, it's like you're like, but this is what you're saying.
You know what it reminds me of a lot? And I've watched the Sister Wives for years. They tolerated it for so long, right?
Yeah.
It's like they're dealing with a child.
In a way, but I have great brothers who are like very, I would say, like emotionally in tune. I would say they help like 50. Like I would say they're very forward for being how old they are. I'd say they're very forward male like people. I would also say my sister-in-laws could sit here and have the same conversation of them not understanding what really. So I don't know if it's like physical. I don't know if it's like just they're not in. I don't know if they'll ever any man will ever get in touch with like what a woman really wants because they can't live our experience. So I don't know what this place is. However, I do know that women do so much work on what that place is, and I don't know how many men do so much work. I think if men did as much work as women on what that place was, I feel like
we'd be closer.
I do. I feel like women spend I don't know how many men are having this conversation right now.
Men aren't talking about anything.
Of understanding.
They talk about sports.
If they were to sit there and have a podcast about like, my wife feels like I'm just curious because, I think our husbands are 10 out of 10 in terms of like, they're 10 out of 10.
Listen, we couldn't have done better. Nobody could do better. They are the best. And we're still talking about this.
And I wouldn't say that I would say it's a problem. It's a universal problem. I don't know many women that have been like, oh, it's a negotiation of a partnership, or they have like a contract, not a fake one, of like, we do this and this works for me, but this is where she gets her buckets filled from going to spend money. Like whatever their fucking shit is, they have their thing worked out. But it's usually through therapy, and they have a thing. This is what makes me feel right. Is Mondays we have sex, we go to dates and we have conversations and we look at each other and we kiss for 6 seconds and then we 60 or whatever the fucking thing. We have things that. Blah, 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 blah. But how many men can sit there and actually hear what a female's saying?
I think maybe at the root of it all, and we've said this even about having boys and raising boys, is that not only do they not go there, boys don't talk.
They don't know how to go there.
So now we're an adult and we're dealing with a complicated topic. And we've never talked in our whole lives.
And then you're not supposed to talk about it because if you talk about it, it's just going to bring you not the less of it. Like,
and who would they talk to?
No, I'm even saying like if you talk to your partner about sex, not having sex, you're not going to have it. They're saying it's like, what's the point of talking about it? Because it's never. I love the quote. Never have I met someone who complains about having sex, have more sex.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the secret code, actually, we should fully get a sex therapist on here, like a real sex one. Not a marriage one, not a relationship one, sex. We know one.
Mm-hmm.
We know one. And she has said it many times.
I mean, do you think that she's actually going to say something that you and I haven't considered?
Well, I know, but at least she could say, honest to God, you guys. But maybe we need a man.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
A man sex therapist. We had one. Remember that guy?
Was he a sex
We didn't
therapist?
even air it. We didn't even air the podcast. He was such a dickbag.
That was so weird.
He was...
That's the kind of guy who could be on Dateline.
That was crazy. We didn't even air it because it was so bad.
He's so not in touch with reality.
No. He was...
Wow. He had something wrong with him.
A narcissist and a psychopath combined.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, that podcast, we were like, we can't... We all got off and we're like, we're not fucking airing that. We had 2 podcasts like that we couldn't 3.
air. I'm trying to think of the third. I know the girl one.
2 girls and a guy.
Who's the second girl?
I'll tell you after.
3 podcasts we recorded and could not release.
Yeah.
Trust us, you're not missing anything at all.
You would have been outraged. You would have been outraged. You would have actually been outraged.
Speaking of, I ended up on someone's social media podcast, and he just recently did interviews with Elon Musk's dad.
Oh.
And I watched all the clips. Talk about not being in touch with reality. You know that he ended up like basically raising his stepdaughter and then having children with her. And he's like, yeah, we got along really well. And then she went away, and then she called me up, and then she said she was pregnant. And I was like, it's not mine. And he's like, because you know, that's what women do. They say it's yours. Turns out it was mine. And he ended up having children with her. And she was 30 and he was 70.
Someone else famous did that.
Elon's dad.
The other guy with his adoptive daughter.
Oh, God.
Come on.
Oh.
Mia.
Oh, yeah.
Who?
Mia Farrow's ex-husband.
Woody Allen?
Woody Allen, yeah.
Wait, sorry. Did he never get canceled for that?
Nope. That's so fucked up. He's still with her, too.
Whoa.
Is he still alive?
I have no idea. Anyways, thanks for listening, guys. If you cracked the code, let us know. We need to know if you know what we know, because I feel like women all know, but men don't know. But if men knew, then it would be so much easier, because we know men, but they don't know us. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?